Welcome, everyone. This is the Rixican Show. I am Rick, your host. And before we stir the pot, I may have opened a can of worms last night. We'll talk about it here in a minute. But uh, today's Wing Wednesday. You get a pound of wings for $12.99
Is that like Pizza Hut or where?
at Rick's.
Rick's. Wing Wednesday at Rick's. Okay. All right.
Yeah, a pound of wings, and you got your
Pound it.
mango habanero, tomatillo ranch. There's like a garlic parmesan,
Okay. I can dig that.
hot wings, barbecue, honey barbecue. I mean,
Damn, you trying to make me hungry?
all sorts of flavors. I like the tomatillo ranch. That's like my fave thing because that's unique to this area.
Yeah, and these are bone-in wings, right?
Yeah,
Do you guys offer boneless also? Or
no,
no?
we don't offer boneless.
So only real wings.
Yeah, we don't offer things to the weak. If you,
And also the soup today is that potato soup also again. I had some yesterday.
yeah,
It was delicious.
I had a bite of it. They had broccoli in it, creamy,
Bacon.
juicy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bacon.
bacon,
Gotta love bacon.
potatoes. It was good.
And then yesterday after the show, Rick and I had the opportunity to go down to Aroma's the Indian restaurant.
Yeah, round two.
And yeah, round two for him, my first attempt. And I learned really quick that I cannot eat food as hot as I used to be able to eat.
Because of chemo.
Chemo, yep.
Yeah,
It
chemo.
messed up my taste buds. And I did level 2 out of 5. And you saw me, I was sweating, man. I'm like, I was drinking water and oh boy. But we did learn something great is that they will help you find something that suits your taste. So tell them what you like and they'll guide you. I just jumped right in.
He just
Feet
jumped in and
first.
ordered something. I was like, get him a mango lassi, which is that mango yogurt
Yeah, all right.
drink. And I was like, that'll
Cooled me off,
smooth you
man.
down if you're into that.
Yes.
That's a fun little
But
drink.
great place. I left a 5 out of 5 review yesterday. One thing I like about it is an Indian restaurant, not some American white people decided to open food and sell Indian food.
Yeah.
Um, Everything's very authentic there.
Hopefully Monday they join us on the show.
Yeah, that's right. They're scheduled to be here at 11 on next Monday.
And I said, those that haven't been to Indian food or tried it, I was like, let's do you know, a beginner's guide to
Yeah.
Indian food. It's like you walk in there and there's like all these things and curries and like what is it? And so it might be nice to have a few ideas.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
the rookie way to go because if you don't go with people that know, you're just like this is
I
crazy.
looked like a rookie yesterday, but I've eaten Indian food since I was 22 years old.
Yeah,
But yeah, I got to remember my taste buds aren't the same. I can't wait to get them back because I used to eat habaneros and ghost peppers. I could never really stomach Carolina Reaper. I'm sorry, just too. I have this hot sauce called Extreme Regret, and I had it once in my food, and I extremely regret it.
they had to burn you twice.
Oh man, it going in and coming out.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
two-way pepper.
Anyway,
Oh
yes,
man.
the Wing Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wing Wednesday.
In Costa Rica, I rubbed my arm on some peppers walking around,
Bro,
and they're the little tiny, some type of ghost pepper, and my arm burned. I was like, man, it's a
what
hot pepper.
capsaicin,
Didn't even make it to my mouth.
bro? I learned the hard way that how powerful the capsaicin oils are. I make pico de gallo pretty regularly, and I use gloves now after this incident. But I drink a lot of water, and I had to go to the bathroom. Let's just say I was in pain for about an hour and a half, if you can catch my drift. Because as a man, you've got to aim, and it hurt downstairs.
Oh yeah, sensitive. Caliente.
Muy caliente. Hey, we're on Rumble, we're on TikTok, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook. Get on there and comment and like and share, please. It helps us a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
I will answer your questions.
he
and if
does.
don't
I
know,
interrupt him in the
don't.
middle of the show and say, just like I did right there,
Yeah.
and say, hey, so and so's got a question.
Yeah. Jump on in there. Um, so I guess let's just jump into it and see where this goes.
Yes, sir. Is that me?
It's not me. YMCA on someone's phone. So I came across some information about our local library, and online you can look up their general ledger of their expenses, and it breaks even. And then I was, you can ask and file for a report for some more numbers. And the, it's like a nonprofit, but it's like got all this, money in it. So I had some questions and I posted it, on my biased way.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the middle's the truth. And I'm sure it'll all be justified. I don't think anything illegal is going on. I don't think anything like that. I just, it's the public library is a public service, and a public service should run lean because it's all getting taxpayer dollars. So I don't believe they should be a fat squirrel, but I feel like uh, there's some fatness there, and maybe it's totally legit and it all is accounted for. But on the ledgers, I don't know if the ledger's the right word. I'm not an accountant, so I'm like, I need your guys' help to like figure this out. But on the other paperwork that you can apply for about the library, it's like in this one bank account, there's 22 million. And in this other, their current thing was, you know, or 22 million. This current one was 24 million. And minus the 15 million budget, there's a surplus of 8 million. I was like, this isn't on the ledger the public gets to see. And so I had questions. And then one step above it, I had a little line item for strategic initiatives. $6 million. And I was like, what are strategic initiatives? That's a vague word that could mean anything. So it'd be really cool to slice that pie up and see, because I was like, if we're all the money comes from grants, bonds, all this stuff, it comes from, property taxes. And I was like, if they have $30 million, like 2 years worth of money, I was like, it'd be nice to put that squirrel on a diet. Is all I'm saying. I don't want it to close. They do their good service. Somebody's been,
Yeah.
somebody's good with money and didn't squander it. So, I'm like, that's cool too. I get that, responsible. Um, uh, you know, and then they do service many libraries, and some people go, well, that's why. And I was like, well, interesting, but Ephrata pays them $196,000 a year to work together, and this
Okay.
other city pays them 100,000. This other city pays them XYZ, and I was like, so if they're serving these other libraries, those libraries are paying them as well, and that it all goes into that, their little deal. And so I was like, huh, interesting. So maybe it all makes sense. It was also brought to my attention that sometimes grants and money are given and they're for specific things, and you can't use them unless it's for that specific thing. And I was like, what if they've got $2 million in there for 8-track tapes, you know, or vinyl records? And we're like, well, we don't have those anymore. But, oh, we can't spend it on anything but this. So we'll just let it sit in the account. So if we have those things going on, that'd be cool. Bring it up so we can get that released
And reappropriated.
and reappropriated.
Yeah.
And I know it's much more complicated than that because it's government and there's bureaucracies. I mentioned that the librarians working there. I'm like, you should ask for a raise. It's like there's a lot of stuff going on there. Now, and maybe it makes total sense, but usually um, you need 18 to 25% to operate your budget. So I'm like, of their 15, let's round it to 16 million. They need 3 to 4 million to run their budget. And I was like, this 8 million, this 22, this $32 million in question, maybe some of that's for next year. So you
Yeah.
can cut that back down in half. But like I say, somewhere down the middle, there's something going on. And we're going to dig a little bit. But at the same time, I think our city's paying, you know, 20,000 a year or whatever. I don't think it's a month, but 20,000 a year to, you know, do maintenance on the old building and service it.
Did you know that the library is also a fallout shelter here? I mean, and it is so fortified. It is so much concrete. We actually, with the IT company that we have, we've serviced it before. And that's how I found out about it. We had to run cable somehow to the basement.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, there is a basement too. Yeah, that was something I didn't
Oh
know
yeah,
about
and
till
it is
yesterday.
tornado shelter, all that.
Yeah.
And let's just say I did not have the equipment, and still don't, to drill through that much concrete. But luckily, I found an unused um, wall circuit wall jack,
Yeah.
and we were able to get it down there. But I mean, I looked under there and I saw why it's so maintained is for tornado, earthquake, all that stuff. It's equipped, and so if anything goes wrong in our area, get to the library.
Sweet.
Yeah, you can pass down, read some books, and be safe.
Dear City, I'm starting a band called Bomb Shelter. Our first album will be, songs from the shelter. And
Yes,
we will rent that basement out from you.
Fat Squirrel Records.
That's what records. We'll rent that basement out from you because the library go nuts. Anyway, uh, I like the drums, folks. All right.
He
So,
does like the
anyway,
drums.
enough with that, but that is stirring the pot a little bit. I'm sure the people at the library probably don't like me right now. And
I don't like you.
yeah, and there is a cost coming out with this stuff, because you find something that's you're like, oh, that's suspicious, and maybe that's all it is suspicious. But like, um, I think the real story is why are there two sets of numbers, one for the public and one behind the scenes? But then I was like,
Yeah.
do all these places have two sets of numbers? And that's I think the bigger story of all of this. And um, it's anyway, it is what it is. But we're creating awareness, and somewhere down the middle is the truth. Okay. Any questions?
No, I can't think of any.
All right. But anyway, I was getting a hard time
Oh wait, no, I
about
lost
it.
it. Sorry.
So, um, so quick, stuff you don't think about. There's 6 million late mortgage payments this year or this month.
It's a lot.
And if the economy doesn't get any better, we could probably rise to about 10 million. And just to put things in perspective, there are 145 million homes building, livable buildings in the country, plus or minus, right? So, um, I don't know if that's, just to put it in perspective, 6 to 10 million, 145 million homes. So, I mean, that percentage is potentially increasing, and we'll see how things go. I don't think it's a picnic coming up, folks. So we're gonna have some ups and downs. Remember, Trump is a populist, economic warfare. I say this all the time, and that's kind of the route that he's going with. Um, this one I'd like to talk about. This has to do with crypto. I know some people are like, love it, hate it, you got all your opinions on it, but I want you to think about something for a minute. And this is going to affect many, many things, and make it difficult for state, federal businesses. I don't know if difficult is the right word, but there's a loophole there. And so, where's it going to go? And is it going to be regulated more? So, if US crypto,
I don't know what that was.
oh my goodness. If US crypto is tax free, can you pay employees with crypto? Boy, Ellen and I would throw a fit, right? But
Yes, sir.
so can you? I mean, you got all sorts of stuff in there that it would go around. Ellen and I is going to be upset. How would they even know?
Yeah.
Like some guys like, pay me crypto. Okay. It's fake money, it's funny money, it's tax free, you know, independent contractors, whatever. All right. So you have employment, subcontractor stuff. Will you take crypto? What about sales tax? As businesses take crypto, if there's no tax on it, will more and more businesses take crypto?
That's a good question. I do have to do that one more time and mute that music. I'm having an issue with the TikTok stream, so excuse me for a second while I open TikTok back up and mute it
It's the
immediately.
final one, and then we can talk.
I'll make it as quick as possible.
Where's the mute?
My
Sorry,
name is Martin
sorry,
Alvarado.
folks.
I'm a bounty hunter.
All right, we're back.
I'm good?
Yes.
Man, some people. So if U.S. crypto,
It's the big water.
oh my goodness, I need a new tech person. Hello, Josue, come back.
Now hiring.
Now hiring new technician. I can't say smack. I would get lost on that thing. So I will say smack, but I still will be lost on it.
There it goes again. Dang it. All right, good. All right, we're good.
We're back up.
Yes.
So starting over, U.S. crypto.
Yes.
If U.S. crypto is tax free, how does this affect all the other transactions that happen? Can you pay your employee with crypto? And if so, is that tax free?
Hmm.
And if so, are employees going to start asking for it? Think about that for a moment. That is huge.
Yeah.
How far does this go? Because if you pay him in crypto and then he pulls it out, turns it into cash, Mr. Trump says that's tax free. Now we got to wait till how this officially comes out, but this is a huge possibility. State taxes, stores. You go to a
Is being
store.
insinuated by this speech
I give
gets
up.
me a little.
Store.
Stores. Oh man. Stores, can they do transactions and skip sales tax because crypto's tax free? The federal government said XYZ, A plus B equals C. I mean,
Wow.
it's simple math, folks.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, I'd like to save my customers some dinero and this and that. But now the state's upset. They're like, whoa, we don't want that. So what's next? What if you buy and sell a house?
Yeah.
Do you have to pay tax on that? Right?
If you use crypto.
If you use crypto.
Yeah. Good.
U.S. crypto. It has to be U.S. crypto, folks. But we will see. I mean, Trump says this is what he wants. We'll see how it goes into play. But
Yeah.
it dawned on me today that this is much bigger, potentially much bigger to get around. You know, can the IRS regulate crypto? Can, crypto's an interesting deal.
Wealth Rose said, this is off the subject, but it's the question for you. You can answer it now or later. First, he said, I like the crypto, and then said, can someone tell me why I should vote yes on the school levy? It's off topic, but I'm curious.
Okay, so the school levy. This is a tough one because I've kind of tried to take all emotion out of it, and I'm still kind of on the fence on it, and it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. So one thing that's confusing to me in terms of property tax is what the levy they went without, but our taxes haven't been reduced yet. So
Yeah.
I'm told possibly 2025 those numbers won't be there on your property tax. I haven't seen that yet, but we got the hospital levy on there, and I was like, that's interesting. And then we still paid the tax. So, in one aspect, there's a possibility we're paying the tax no matter what, and it could go to Olympia. So, like, you're paying it, but you're not going to get it. Now, you also, all your sales tax and all the stuff we spend elsewhere, if we don't do the levy, we don't get those other funds. And so you're like, those taxes go to Olympia already. So until I see that 2025 number, I can't prove that. But that is
I
something
think the
that's
math you did
discussed.
online was like it was almost like $3,000 or 3% difference, or they're very small.
Well, they asked for the 1.5 tax.
Yeah.
But they only take what they need. But they have to ask for the 1.5, so the state gives them it's not matching funds, but basically it's matching funds. Um, so it's tough. So if the average person pays $500 a year for the school levy, then it'll probably add 100 jobs. I don't think it's going to bring back all 200 because the system was bloated with employees already.
Yes.
So in simple terms, pay $500, add 100 employees. It costs you $500. If you don't pay $500, then the kids will have less, and we'll have to figure out sports. We'll have to figure all that out. The other thing that's going to happen too is they had like $5 million left of levy money on this round that they kind of stretched. They're not going to have it if it's voted no. So there'll be 5 million less, which will probably mean all the music stuff and everything else will go and be tighter. I kind of lean towards a yes because I feel like it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's the structure we have,
Yes.
good, bad, ugly. And so I kind of lean towards the yes on it, but it's like, I don't like taxes. I don't like all this stuff.
One more time on that sound.
Like, so that's a tough one. It's a tough one for me. I'm like, oh, I don't like either option per se. Um, and if Trump does anything with education, it's not. I don't think it's going to happen fast enough to affect this round of stuff. Or if he wants to give families money or tax incentives to send them to private school or homeschool, and you can write off 5,000 or whatever to make those things more affordable or efficient to, you know, have school choice. So that's not on the system yet, if at all. We'll see how it plays out. But yeah, great question. It's tough. It's tough. But I get the
And
argument.
Walthrow said I did vote no, by the way.
Yeah, that's fine. No hard feelings for me. You know, I think it's cool you voted your things.
I just want to say I have hard feelings just because I want to be different from Rick, even though I don't know you.
Yeah. How dare you? But yeah, it's tough, and I'm kind of stuck on it because, like, you know, I feel like it's damned if we do, damned if we don't. I'm like, I don't know. And I get the argument, save the kids, save this and that. Like, yeah. I do like sports programs for kids. Sometimes I think the sports and interaction might be more education than
Yeah.
some of the classes. And I'm a big believer in social skills, networking are your most important skills.
Yes.
Most of what I do is social in my life. You got to work with other people. If you want to be a leader, you got to learn how to leverage other people's talents and skills. And so I'm like, that is huge. And sports provide that. So I'm a big believer in that. Um, but the education is the education system. The teachers they're doing the best they can with all the madness of the structure that's there, you know. So I hope that helps you kind of break down both sides. But if that money is on 2025 and we're paying it anyway, then I'd be like, this is crazy. Then you were paying for it anyway. And that's the part I'm having trouble to get solid info. But we will know in 6 months, a year from now, we'll know if it actually is there or not. But
Yeah.
that part I haven't been able to see with my own eyes. But there is a debate there. So it's possible, yeah. You're paying for it anyway. And if that's the case, then it might as well be a yes vote.
Oh, okay. I know. Yeah, Walthrow. That's Jeff Greenman. What up, Jeff?
Yeah.
Good to hear from you.
Yeah. So that's tough. That's kind of a anyway. Hopefully, that's a good like unbiased opinion on it because like I get both sides. You know, save the kids. You know, I also get people on limited income. Like, if you vote yes, I'm homeless. You know, like I get that too. So, um, okay. Yeah. So crypto and taxes. This will be an interesting thing to watch. Is going to potentially huge. Crypto and AI hold hands, folks.
Yes.
For super AI, you need digital currency that transacts fast so it can do what it needs to do. Consider that most things are financial transactions in some sort of way. Our whole structure is structured that way. This is a concept I need to think about a little bit because I'm like, what does that mean? So super AI is just going. You want it to buy and sell your stocks for you and make you money? It needs to be free and it needs crypto to be fast. You know, like no brokers. You know, set that sucker free. Um, as you're doing stuff and you know purchasing things. If you want it fast and efficient, or you want AI to handle that for you, it's connected in a weird way. So that's something to consider where this is going as they introduce quantum internet, quantum financial system, and cryptocurrency into the thing. The disadvantages of it are No more cash.
No more cash.
No more cash. Not that I'm doing anything shady anywhere. Like, go to the gas station, pay cash. You're like, not that any of that's shady. It's just um,
Cheaper.
you're going to be. They're just going to see every transaction. So
Yeah.
most of us don't have anything to worry about. I would argue, the little thugs on Bitcoin and these other places that have uh, uh, blockchain, they're already watching you. They've done it to suck you in, right? They it's blockchain. They have the transaction record. They know who you are. They've done it. They've brought you in for 5, 10 years, and they're like, okay, we got the cartels here. We got this guy here. We know where the money's going and coming back. Hook, line, sinker, folks. Like, it's already happening.
Right before your eyes.
And it's like, you wanted to go after the big fish. This might have been a 10, 15-year project to hook all the big fish. So the sex trafficking, cartels, whatever, they've just been building a case for them, is what I think is potentially happening behind the scenes. But, you know, we thought that it was, separate, that it was for the people. Okay.
Yeah.
In my opinion, right?
Humble opinion.
So humble.
And just folks out there, it says TikTok is streaming. I'm not finding the stream. So if you're on TikTok, please comment so I can see. I'm over here. That's why we had a few interruptions with the sound as I'm scouring the web to see where it's at. But it says we're in equal time with the stream on Rumble. So yeah, send me some comments on TikTok, please.
This is big news too. So I've been under the impression that the mainstream media is like no one's paying attention to it anymore. Like I don't know when the last time I've turned on the TV and watched mainstream news.
In a hotel,
Like
maybe.
CNN.
Yeah.
It's not even there. Like
I know.
I just don't watch it. Um, and and a lot of people on social media don't watch it. So those big companies are like, we got to get uh onto social media too. So when you're scrolling through, those guys will pop up now and again. And you're like, what's Fox News doing on here? What's this thing? So the White House is now allowing press credentials to social media. So if they determine you're a legitimate news source on social media, they'll be like, you can come to the White House and sit in a chair and ask questions.
Yep.
You're a podcaster. They're like, oh, you can get credentials, come and sit down, and maybe they'll rotate them through or whatever. This is a big blow to mainstream, I think, news. And if you think that there's only a handful of people that control all the mainstream media, it's another big blow to them. Imagine Joe Rogan, a podcaster, who's like, I'll go there for one day, sits down, does his little, and he raises his hand, they ask him a question. I mean, when he interviewed Donald Trump, I think he had more views, social media views on that than mainstream has had.
Yeah. One thing though, you got to remember what they said in when they talked about it is that you're eligible to apply.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that everybody that has a podcast is guaranteed to have a spot in the White House. So I don't want people to go there and like cry because it just like if I'm doing some sort of an event, I want people to come here that put out good content and that I know are going to be supportive. So
you also got to get screened.
Yeah,
I mean, they don't just let anybody in.
Exactly.
These people.
Yes. I see you're related to the Unabomber. How do you feel about that? No, you just won't be on the show.
Yeah. But this is huge news.
Yes.
Bringing news to the public and making it equal.
The mainstream is in the back of the room now. You know that, right?
Yeah, he's at the front rows for the new guys.
Yeah, for all the podcasters.
And I think they have one chair for the newest one.
Yeah.
This is huge. This is huge. When Joe Rogan did his thing, I was like, this is big.
Yeah.
This is huge. That people are, and just looking at the numbers.
Wait, what are we talking about? Awkward.
In my humble opinion.
That was good. That was three shade.
Touche, three shade.
Yes.
Pod.
Man, this is, sorry, technical difficulties are not fun. We do experience them. So if you were trying to find us on TikTok, if you do comment, yes. If not, and you can't find us, jump on one of our other streams.
Yeah, we'll wait till next time. They can't even hear you to jump on the other stream.
Who is this? Technical difficulties are not fun. We do experience. There I am.
Yeah, there you are. All right. So, another thing, and some of you that pay attention on social media, this one was going around. You talk about Doge and those things. Trump stopped $50 million going towards Gaza to purchase condoms. And sometimes we just got to ask ourselves, like, what is going on?
Remember Arsenio Hall?
No,
His talk show. You don't remember that guy?
that was a long time ago.
Well, that's where they would he would have the segment go things that make you go, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be one of those. Why would you even have to stop a transaction for condoms in where is this? Afghanistan?
No, it's Israel. Gaza Strip.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm
The whole Israel Palestine mess down there.
Yeah.
I was like, they gotta send $50 million worth of condoms.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do they even believe in those there?
Well, as long as they're not made from pig, no pigskins. That's why they're not in the football, because it wouldn't be kosher.
Hmm.
That was hilarious, by the way. No.
Someone's gonna be like, blast us now for whatever. But yeah, anyway, things that make you go, it's crazy. All the stuff
Yeah.
that we spend money on that are, I guess, ridiculous. Also, Trump is you have to pay a permit for to have children. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm surprised I haven't. To be like, what? You fornicated without a permit? Like, it's crazy.
Have you read the book ever? It's by Aldous Huxley. It's called A Brave New World. Definitely any of my Christian friends out there are probably with their jaws dropped open right now because, Donnie, you've read that? It's a pretty, in my opinion, disgusting book. But they have that. You actually have to get permission. And Aldous Huxley was a professor, but he believed in what a new kind of way of thinking for the future. And one of the things in his book is that young women got criticized if they had one sexual partner. That they're supposed to save that when they're in their 40s or something. But they did have to have permits to have kids in that book as well too.
Yeah, you can't reproduce with her. The permit says only this way. We want the best offspring in our country. Yeah, like I don't know, but
9.
But anyway, it's just crazy. I'm surprised they haven't tried to. I guess just the marriage certificate's enough. I don't know. So, what else is hot in the news? Trump is doing the 30,000 person migrant facility in Guantanamo Bay for the worst of the worst. So when they capture who they deem, whatever that means, who's the worst of the worst, that they're like, we don't even trust them going back to their country. They're going to put them there.
Wow.
I don't know how they determine that, but that's interesting news.
Yeah.
Who would that be? Who would be so bad that you would put them there?
Not me. In that case.
And 30,000 of them. And I'm pretty sure they're like, I'm sure they're like, yeah, we've got 29,000 already picked.
Big prison.
Yeah, we got 29,000 already picked out. Just looking for the last 1,000. Like, are they is it more than a murderer? Some of these offenders? Yeah, I don't know. But that's interesting. Like, how do they determine that? And what if you're innocent and you get going there? There's going to be one guy that's going to get screwed on that deal.
Not again.
Not again. Oh, man. I probably shouldn't have said screwed on that deal because I don't know what they do in prison.
Reminds me of a joke, and I'm going to tell it. Yes. Your mom may not like this joke, but Jesus loves you is a good thing to hear in church. Not a good thing to hear in a Mexican prison.
That wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. All right. We covered some prepper stuff on the last show, and I've received a request to do more of it.
Yeah, that request was from my mother,
His
by the
mom's
way.
like, that was amazing. Pool shock. Who would have known you can purify hundreds of thousands of gallons of water with it? Like, yes, you can. Um, anyway, so one thing we could talk about is power generators. And being in construction, I have some opinions about generators. I see a generator as a stepping stone to keep your freezer cold until you can eat it up. Like after that, at some point, you're just going to have to. This is like worst case scenario. At some point, it buys you time till help comes, or if it's the end be all, whatever, California fires, take out everything, and you're kind of on your own for a while. It buys you time to eat your freezer, share with your friends, whatever. Keep food as healthy as you can. It's a bridge to get you there. Generators, working on construction and on job sites with no power, I have wrecked many, many generators,
Oh, hold on a second.
brand new ones.
Maybe that's why Senator Pocahontas is so against crypto. It will show all their expenditures and it says, "Do it, Rick. I'd like to see you guys in there asking questions." Oh, us in there.
The library, is that where we're going with
No,
this?
to the White House.
The White House?
And then some. I don't know where we got this.
Rick
And
said
then now
that.
the men will get pregnant. I don't know.
Yeah, you need
Where
a
did that come from?
You need a permit for that too.
Jeff, I'm confused.
Yeah.
Jeff Greenman, I'm confused.
You're pregnant and you don't have a permit
And you're a male.
and you're a male? This is bad. I need to make a phone call.
Yeah.
We got one. So there's many generators I've purchased or homeowners have provided, whatever, and brand new. You think they would be amazing, and we have like in a day, a week, a month, I've destroyed them. Just running, running our circular saws, running whatever, and I'm not sure what the deal is with it.
Oh, he was talking about Gaza. The men get pregnant.
Make it pregnant.
Yeah, with the condoms.
I almost said something offensive.
Sorry, Jeff. I haven't had Rick's caffeine yet.
Yeah. And so there's a couple generators that seem to be little workhorses.
Yes.
And as much as we criticize Harbor Freight for average
I like
medium
Harbor Freight.
fuels, their little Predator
Yep,
kicks buns,
it does.
kicks some major. They're pretty good. I've got a little one, and then I've seen one that's more enclosed and more quiet that we used on the last job
It's
site.
the inverter version, the quiet version.
And both of those they run, and if you old gas, you can clean them out pretty easy and get them up and running again. And I was like, that's pretty amazing. It's a little workhorse. The little Hondas do pretty good too, but I've had Champions, I've had all bunch of stuff, and they're just, I mean, in a day, a week, a month, I've broken many, many generators.
Yes.
So something to think about.
So I'm looking at one. It's called the Predator 5000 inverter generator.
Yeah,
This is a super quiet one.
we used that on the last job site.
It's only $1,000.
We've been using it for about a month straight. How much is it?
$1,099.99.
Yeah. So, and it goes for a month straight. It went no problems.
Remote start even.
Yep, purrs like a kitten. Not too bad.
Remote start on a generator. That's cool.
But anyway, the little Predator thing, they man, for what they are.
Yeah.
I think mine's a little smaller than the 5,000, whatever the regular one is, but
I bought one. I don't have that quiet inverter version, but I was in somewhere like Montana or something. Yeah, it was Montana. It was tax free, and I saw a Predator. Dan and I were doing a job out in Montana, and we're on our way back, and our car was already stuffed full of tools. And I saw this refurbished Predator for like $400. This one was normally like 1,200. Like, I'll take that. Dan's like, we're not going to fit that in the car. I was like, oh, I will fit it. And my point is, I still haven't ever put gas in it and fired it up.
Yeah.
It's still sitting in my garage, never been started, but it's ready to use when I do need it.
For your emergencies, whatever.
Go on the back of my motorhome, right?
So some of the consequences with generators is they're noisy.
Yes.
And I think there's an incident of
They can give away your
there was a
location.
power outage,
Yeah.
and one of the people in the HOA fired up their generator, and they were living this luxurious life, and the whole neighborhood didn't have it. And the HOA came to him and says, "Hey, that was unfair of you
What?
to have power, and no one else did."
Unfair.
So the consequence of being, I guess, having a generator and all that is they are noisy. Your neighbors are going to see it.
And you'll have to share.
You're going to hear it. And plan on sharing. So because if you can run your freezers in your fridge, for an hour, in the morning or hour at night,
It'll keep cold
use,
most of the day.
it should keep cool. And if you have a little bit of, preps, you can go to your neighbors and be like, "Hey, let me charge up your fridge and that for an hour
Hey,
and go around the block and keep everybody happy."
$20.
Yeah, give me $20. I know it's toilet paper, but but you may keep them a little happier so they can get through their freezer a little longer.
Yeah.
And that I think one of the hardest things about being prepared is we're not connected with our neighborhoods.
Well, speak for yourself.
Yeah,
My neighborhood, we're very connected.
very connected. Everybody knows what they can do, what they can't.
Oh yeah, everybody has codes, everyone's doors and all that. Like
Yeah.
when I was really, really sick, people would come over and check on me. I'm like, oh, who's in my house?
Yeah.
That's how tight our neighborhood is. So
That's great. Uh, I guess being newer to the area, like I don't know, it's like I don't feel super connected to my neighbors. You
yeah,
can talk to them, it's like, oh, they don't really want to talk to you, and I'm like, okay, it's like I feel like we live in a society where we're not doing block parties, and
yeah.
nobody knows the uniqueness of each person and what they can offer and what they can't.
I mean, our neighborhood sucks. It's the worst. That way, no one moves in. I don't want any new neighbors. No, we do block parties. We do pool parties.
Awesome.
We do everyone brings their barbecue to the front of their driveway, and we're on a cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
Just bounce back and forth and get food. And kids play. One house has a trampoline. One has a pool.
That's
One has a guillotine.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of preppers live in isolation
Yeah.
because they're like, I ain't telling nobody. And
No.
I get that philosophy too. I get it. Like I don't want anyone to know about
Food.
my case of drinking water.
What's it called? We talked about it yesterday. Shock.
The pool shock.
Pool shock.
Pool shock.
Yeah. So you don't want them to know about that.
Yeah. and to review that, I mean, all you're doing is taking one granule of pool shock, putting it in a quart of water, right? Let it sit for 15 minutes or whatever. Let it do its thing. And you basically have a Clorox chlorine mix there.
Yeah.
You can sniff it. If you can't smell it, add another granule. They call it the sniff test, right?
Huffing. Yeah.
You huff it. Yeah. Oh, jeez. That took a turn. And then you can clean with it. Then you can take drops of that and put it in other water you need to purify, or quart a cap full, and
Yeah.
put it into something. And if you're super stud, you can get hydrogen peroxide.
Not the food grade.
Food grade,
yeah.
preferably, and it will reverse the chlorine and take it back and take the taste out of it.
No.
But hydrogen peroxide does chemical burn, so you get white fingers and stuff if you mess with it.
Oh.
So, but again, you're like,
that's how you dye your hair.
That's how I get my gray hair.
What's that movie? But The Outsiders. Ponyboy did that.
Oh, I don't know.
Before your time.
Oh, the hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah.
When I was in California, we used to got their hair to bleach it. Yeah, peroxide bleach. Just the stuff in the house now. But yeah, it's just basic generator stuff. Stuff to think about.
Shovel.
A shovel.
Yeah, it's important. Like if you don't have a generator, you can dig down and keep food mostly cool.
Yeah.
That way.
Yeah, if you like to dig and you're a mole, yeah, that is a thing. You can make yourself a cellar, right? With a shovel. That seems like a lot of work to do.
It will cool your food, though.
Yeah, I guess if you're that desperate, if you've got kids.
Yeah.
And most people have a shovel.
Yeah.
When I did foreclosures, and people left,
Shovels were always left behind.
Yes. There was like the shovel, the rake, those things are always like left behind.
So what's your rake collection at now?
Oh, right now I have a
38.
no. When I did foreclosures, I did. I mean, I would put them together in like stacks of 15 and be like selling a bundle of shovels, rakes, whatever, and I'd sell it for like
Yeah,
10, 15, $25.
that was you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a bad shovel once in one of those deals.
Yeah.
No.
I'm sorry.
There was blood on it from that dead guy.
Yeah, probably. I also found a lot of like cast iron skillets doing foreclosures.
Crazy. Those
So,
were good.
like one out of 100 houses had a cast iron. That was something that they kind of left.
That's in the bottom row and like in the drawer of the
Yeah,
stove.
the bottom drawer of the stove. That was a fun one.
Here's one. Is it best if you can form? Wait. It is best if you can form community. However, it's hard when all the purple-haired people think it's crazy to have provisions for your family. Like it's stupid to want to take care of your own family. So I see what he's saying is that everybody's got to contribute.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you want to build a community, make sure you have enough yours, not just try and be a part of a community and mooch off everyone else there because you got to make sure you're preparing for your family.
Yeah, it's tough because like in many ways you need like 100 people
Yeah, oh yeah.
to have a community.
I have about 50.
If you need to do watches and you need to do all
Yeah.
these things, and then there's people that be like, "Hey, I'm going to your house." I go, "That's great," but can you bring something to contribute? And like, "Oh no, I got." I'm like, "Well, that makes it tough because you have takers
Yeah.
out there
Yeah.
and all it is it's a site insurance policy is all you're doing.
Yep.
It's like if I buy an extra bag of rice and I buy, and how people prepping is expensive.
It is.
It's costly and you make mistakes
Yep.
doing it. Because people be like, I want to store gas. Well, gas only lasts so long.
Yeah.
And you're like, I better put it in my car and it made moisture. Then you bend a rod in your car, like,
And if you do keep gas, you need a fuel stabilizer.
but even then it's only good for so long.
Yep. Yep.
It's like every prep, there's a money cost and then there's a learning curve because sometimes you're jumping into it and go, you know, you'd be like, well, I want to make my own bread, and then you get into that rabbit
And there's mice everywhere.
or whatever. You're like, oh, I need a grinder and I need this and that. Now you go down that rabbit hole and you're like, oh my gosh, and some people are like, I'm just getting MREs, and and you could sit there and go, well, MREs are good for 8 years, or whatever, and then you got wheat. You're like, oh, that lasts 100 years or 50 years, so you got it's so tough.
I got those buckets that feed 4 months worth of food or something.
It's something,
and probably not the best tasting. I haven't cracked it open yet.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I would all come together despite our differences. We get a lot further as a society.
That's true. That's true. I preach that all the time. We all want the same thing. We all want affordable housing. We all want safe food. We all want, access to health care. We all want the same thing.
Yes.
And somehow we get divided on how to get there or what it costs or whatever. And hopefully, flip a coin. Hopefully we can get there as a society. But how do you, the tricky part is how do you get people there? The only method that comes to mind is a common enemy, an alien invasion. Then all mankind will come together because the greater enemy is something else.
And Will Smith is here.
Yeah. Will Smith will save us. So that's one method, but I was like, I don't want to get into an alien thing because that's something I can't even comprehend.
Yeah. Someone said amen to that when he said common enemy.
Yeah, that's one method to bring people together. The other method, as much as we all say, oh, educate, do your own research, I don't think that's working. That's just something fun we say because, we're human and we're unable to recognize truth. And so we're navigating life clumsily. And so, yeah, I could say, yeah, we got to come together. We have common ground. And, the next day I'm offending someone at the city. It's like, it's tough. it's tough. So
I've never known you to offend anybody.
I don't
It's
mean
weird.
to. I don't mean to, but I'm sure there's people that think I'm like the biggest, jerk in the world.
Nice.
And I'm like, well, and they probably don't know me, but I'm like, I'm actually pretty chill.
He's a jerk.
I'm a total jerk. I do have a dry wit about me, and that gets me into some trouble because I'll crack a joke and no one's laughing, so I don't laugh, and I'm like, and
I have a dry wit, but I don't care if anyone laughs.
it goes sideways, and I'm sure we go through life offending people. That's how it goes. Um, but yeah, coming together is important. Um, Finding common ground is important. That all helps, but you know, you have I think a small percentage of people that prepare for things are open about it, and I think most of them are kind of closed off. They're like it's like their little hidden secret because they don't want to deal with the takers. Some people think they're prepared and they're not. You know,
Yeah.
they're just it's just and some people think all I need is a pew pew and I'll take whatever I need. You have all sorts of ideas on how to get there. They're like, I'm prepared. I have a pew pew. And I say, well, I guess, but um, it's so hard to do that and know which way to go.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I have, I guess, lots of different insights on it. And crazy tangent. I used to teach a tracking class, how to hunt people, and that was kind of fun. So before we had drones, they had trackers,
Yeah.
like Native American tracking. And I was trained by a guy who studied the Apache way of life and how not to be seen and stuff. So it was really kind of a cool thing. So we go out and play military hide and go seek, right? Go out there and hide and hunt and train and do stuff. And it's interesting to track or hunt people and how not to be noticed, how to defeat, thermals, how to defeat these things. And you just don't know exactly how to do it. But like um, in Afghanistan and Iraq and stuff, one of the ways the local people would hide from our helicopters flying by with thermal is they would take their wool blankets and get them wet
Oh
and then
yeah.
throw it over them. And the helicopter go flying by, and at night it would look like a rock. But then the wind would blow, and you'd see the rock move,
Um,
or they would move underneath their wet blanket that looks like a
so
rock.
back to the offense, someone said us bald-haired white guys are really offensive.
I was born this way, and so they would see it move, and then they could light it up like the 4th of July. But like, um, it's like, how do sometimes you can go through your process and figure out ways to separate temperatures
Yeah.
and so forth. But you're like, that's interesting. You're like, huh, a wet wool blanket, all right? Probably anything, but wool probably holds water a little better. Um, there's so many things you can do. But anyway, we have drones now.
Yeah.
So you're like, how do you hide from a drone when it could fly over every hour and then pick up the different disturbances in the ground?
Yeah.
So like if I'm counter tracking, hiding my footprints, some of the stuff they don't want you to teach. If I'm hiding that so the human eye can't see it,
Yeah.
but the drone can determine a disturbance.
Yep. In the
you know.
force.
That to the drone, it's like some guy grabbing a branch and dragging it across the sand, and it's like, whoa! To a human eye, they might not see it, but the drone can pick that up,
Yeah.
and so you're having to.
It's the other way around too. Is drones can work in your favor. Like you're looking for a way to go. You release your drone up and look around,
Yeah,
and like, oh, there's people way up there. We don't want to go that direction.
a great tool. And look at the Ukraine-Russia thing.
Yeah.
They are using civilian drones for all sorts of shenanigans over there. All sorts of stuff. They fly it. They put the imager straight down,
Yeah.
and they could hook a little boom boom on that and fly over and like drop it. And you see these guys in the trenches going, oh, throwing these little, things away from them.
Wow.
It's But I mean, it's crazy to think about the drones they're using. And the military is like, just buy a bunch of basic drones and flood the place with them. I mean,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, the cartels are probably using. Like everybody's using these drones these days. Uh, and boy, now in the next prepper class, everyone get a drone. I'm not saying that because if it's your thing or hobby, it may have multiple uses that you don't even think about.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, good point. Drones. Um,
Mm.
all right. Enough of the prepper stuff, but there's a little bit of sense, working construction. I've burned through
Yeah.
several generators, and the little predator is a workhorse. There's your summary. And if that's something you want to add or be aware of, how many people just went to their garage and go, man, it's not a predator. I better get a different one. You know, I mean, it's okay. It may last a week, 2 weeks, a month, but I just noticed we have burned through them. Um,
Yeah.
which is crazy to me that they're not as tough and reliable, most of them, as you think they would be.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. Um, another thing I think is in the news, right? Trump said we're going to bring water into California, and there's people, their leaders like it's too complicated, whatever. Those things are all run by the Army Corps of Engineers. And so, with the snap of his fingers, all they got to do is start turning valves
Yeah.
and make water flow, um, making it way less complicated than it was needed to be. But for many people, it's not that the Army Corps of Engineers went in there and they're like, we've never seen this before. Let's figure out a roadmap. These guys are maintaining those things already, you know. So just for them to turn it back on, I think was probably a simple process or, whatever.
Yeah.
Replace that pump, open these valves, whatever.
There was a bunch of stuff after Trump was working on that
So how is this going to affect?
people are really hating Newsom right now because of it.
How is this going to affect? So you had that Dust Bowl now,
Yeah.
the central, basically Central California. Is this water the same water that connects all that together as well? I think it is because you had all those walnut trees and all those
Yeah.
trees that affected that Visalia area in California. I think it's the same water, and they can bring back all those orchards and production and
Yeah.
nuts and stuff back there. 'Cause I think after they turned the water off, I think they called it the Dust Bowl. They
Oh wow.
they just had to there's no water for these things. So um interesting if it's connected. I will have to do some more research, but I'm like, is that part of the Dust Bowl? I think it is. Because I think that water's up north and they just kind of turned a valve and send it to the ocean rather than send it down
To protect the smelt.
the smelt fish. uh but it's crazy. I mean, water is huge. It's huge. We definitely need it, and we consume a lot of it.
Yes.
I mean, we're
We pay more for it than we do any other substance,
we're
liquid.
as people, we are wasteful. I get that, but it's like um, we still need it. We still use it. We're still going to waste it. So keeping as much as we can, I think, is a good thing. Um, that's all my notes for today, folks. I think we're good. Any stories you guys want to hear? I got to get my mom on the show sometime. Um, and she could wrap me out as who I was as a kid. I was a pretty good kid actually, but some of you know that all 4 years of high school I grew up in the garage, so that's always a fun story. And um, oh, those were good times.
Yeah.
Yeah, good times being a teenager, running around.
We're causing ruckus.
Well, I think I was spoiled. The beach, the ocean beach, is kind of a because of the coastal thing. The you can use the sand, be out during the day more if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because like here, it's like when it gets hot, you're not playing sand volleyball. it's just too hot. Your feet are burning. But that cool ocean breeze like quadruples the amount of activities you're doing in the summer.
Yeah.
And so it's a vibrant, happening place, a lot of positive energy. And I was like, how do I bring that energy to our little town? Because we have so much potential here. Um, but anybody that goes to a coastal area, it's like there's a lot of energy. I mean, you may not like Seattle politics, but I was like,
I got on
look
here.
outside more.
I'm getting a Predator. Thank you. You guys have a good show today. Good show today. Have a great day.
Harbor Freight making money.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Um, he's like, I'm getting a Predator. That's crazy. But yeah, it's just a good beater little deal. It's affordable. I don't know what they are, 500,000 bucks, depending on what you get. But it's a good little deal if that's what you want in your
About, yeah, 500
toolkit.
to they have some other up to like 7 grand, depending on what you
They
buy.
have a Predator for 7.
They have, yeah, the
Huge
huge.
one.
You got to get them online. They don't carry them in the store.
I would recommend just a dinker one because
Yeah.
you're spending money on something you may never really need or use. It's just there for backup. But something that can run refrigerators and stuff. Let's say
I have mine for my motorhome.
Yeah. Yeah. But I got the cheap, noisy one. But I mean, I'd use it for jobs once in a while if there's no power there, whatnot. But of course, he's going to buy it. There'll be a lemon. Excuse me. Oh, man. Uh, but there's so much to learn if you go down that rabbit hole, the prepper rabbit hole.
I agree. It was a good show today.
Okay, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Just hit some hot topics and
We'll be back again on Friday. No show tomorrow, folks.
hey, we'll see you Friday. Thanks for joining us.